We will go ahead and call this meeting to order. Can we take roll call, please?
Ms. Atkins, Mr. Bach,
Here.
Mrs. Peterson, Mrs. Sandow,
Here.
Mr. Sorensen,
Here.
Mr. Sturm,
Here.
Mr. Wright.
Here. Approval of the February 2nd, 2026 agenda. Do we have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Can we a motion to approve it with amendments to
Oh.
remove
Oh, remove section
item
12.
12.01?
Okay.
And are we tabling, what are you,
And we're tabling 8.0. I mean, we'll still talk about it in
Okay.
discussion, because I'll bring it. This
All right.
will be an action item on it.
So a motion to approve with the removal of 12.01?
Second.
Vote, please.
Mr. Bach,
Yes.
Mrs. Sandow,
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen,
Yes.
Mr. Sturm,
Yes.
Mr. Wright.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to open the public hearing to talk about the high school LED lighting and the middle school parking lot.
I did send you guys in your email. You can kind of see it up there. I don't know if you can blow that up a little bit. But that, we'll start with the, this is the LED lights. So the LED lights at the high school, we're gonna bid out, or not bid out, but we're looking at a purchasing contract. We go through a partnership, a state partnership there. We did that with Kraft and Titan Hill with Voss Lighting. They just haven't given us formalized numbers yet, but the general area we're looking at for the high school is about $350,000. When you looked at Titan Hill is about $240,000, and the high school is significantly larger than Titan Hill. And then the middle school is actually, we don't need a hearing for the middle school lights. He just has that information up there because the middle school's materials only, so we can buy those directly from them. It's when it becomes a public improvement project that we have to have this hearing. And so by the high school buying the lights and installing them, it becomes a public improvement project. So it would be for the high school, estimated cost $350,000. That's what the architects have estimated for that.
You said that's purchase and install.
Purchased and installed.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it the same grid lighting?
It's the same lighting as what we put in the Kraft and Titan Hill. We had some issues with it at first with the programming. Once we got the programming down, it works much better, so.
So it's a whole system. It's not just,
It's a system, so every light or every room is programmed to a light switch there that allows for dimmable capabilities and everything else. It's something that the teachers really have liked, especially when they're giving presentations, or you have some students in there with some stimuli issues. Being able to dim those lights is hugely beneficial, or just in general, some of the teachers, having that light on all the time, it gets to be a lot, so they're able to dim it down. And you can dim portions of a room or the whole room, so makes it
That's nice.
pretty nice. Any other questions? Okay. And then with the parking lot, so if you can scroll in there, thank you. So right now, the engineer's estimate for the parking lot's $2.1 million. We have a budget of $2 million. Brett Wallace from Project Advocates said that estimate, the $2.1 million, he thinks is strong based upon our bid packages from when we did the high school. The middle school is actually less material than what the high school was, less square footage. But then there's the kind of like the sewer, is that what you call it, the storm drain system that runs underneath, and it's also less lights than the high school, so it's just a few lights compared to all the lights that we moved at the high school. So if you look at the high school, our bid started off we thought it was going to be a $2.5 million project, and it being $1.3 million. So not that Brett said we're gonna have 1.3 million. He just thinks it'll be less than what the architect's recommendation is right now at 2.1 million, so.
So this is just for the flat work parking lot? Or
It's-
is this including the?
It's including lights, it's all one bid package. Yep, the drain, the lights, the flat work, the removal, so.
Can they price the difference between solar and standardized lighting for the,
I think all the wires are already there. I don't think that they're looking to move the wiring system. I think
Okay.
that's pretty much staying the same. I think they're
so
putting
the lights are going in the same spots?
the
then?
lights are going in the same spots. We are switching out what the pole, because right now they're Mid-American poles, are these big wood poles, and they don't like us to mount like cameras and stuff on them, so we do have to switch out the poles to similar to poles what we're getting right now. But yeah, I think that's one of the things that we've talked about a little bit is having like a battery backup on it or something like that. So they're not having to run fully off of that. So I can make sure that they kind of get an estimate for that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And this covers the concrete also back on the backside.
This
for
is,
that path to the
yep,
operations.
actually, it's every bit of concrete clear back to the new stuff that's backed by the bus garage right now. So anything that like is right now asphalt or sidewalk, everything's getting taken out and redone. So
And that's less than the high school?
it's less than the high
Wow.
school, square footage wise.
Huh.
The high school is just that giant,
Oh, that's true.
you know,
Yeah.
expanse of parking lot. This is more sidewalks and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And then if you go down, you can go to that right there, just click on that real quick. This will be
That's what I
really
was
hard
just
to
looking
read.
at, yeah.
Can you zoom in on the picture up top, or maybe
If you scroll down.
if you scroll down, I was gonna say, I think there's a, keep going. These are all just the specs and stuff. There you go, scroll out a little bit. So you can see one of the things, there you go. That's all that's getting taken out. So that whole, everything where the lines are marked, everything along that area is getting taken out. And you'll see they've accounted for the building there. We did end up going away. We had a conversation, pretty detailed conversation about having an island in front of the office there. We ended up going away from it, just because for snow removal purposes and for bus turning purposes, so we kind of get rid of that. We do have, you'll see that there's 2 islands up at that little blue spot, kind of just to the right of where the athletic building's gonna be. There's 2 islands there we did leave in, and the reason I left those in is because it's nice to be able to have some delineation of where an actual path is there. And then you'll see that there's kind of a big, right next to the green, there's kind of a big island right there that is a static island as well. Just to the left up there, Dr. Hartman, nope, left, go down.
Plus mark on it,
Yep, it has look at a plus mark on it, kind of,
or above the green.
to the right.
Right on the curb.
Down.
Down. Right
Yeah, there you go. That's an island as well. And we're filling in the islands, so it's gonna be all just like the high school islands. And then there's 2 little ones up at the top, or to the right, kind of at the end of the parking lot. We did take out those kind of grayish blobs right there. Those are not islands anymore. They're now just kind of painted areas of kind of no parking to help delineate. And then we have kind of the 2 long fingers that go out to try to help separate that as well. So, so there is some traffic queuing items in there to try to help kind of keep people in the right areas. Doesn't mean they're going to listen to them, but you know, every little bit helps. Yeah.
I don't know, what would you guys think about adding to the left of the existing athletic building? So right now, in that grass area, the fence goes down and just follows the road, but squaring the athletic building to the back road, and then paving that part with the parking lot. And what that would do is allow like visitor buses and stuff. It would allow 2 parking spots right there for visiting team, home team, it wouldn't matter.
The only thing we're not seeing on there right now, just because this isn't the athletic, that's just is there are 2 HVAC units that come out to
Side.
the west of that athletic building. So there's 2 large HVAC units that come out there. How big those are, I don't know, but we can probably depending on what they look like, we can potentially get maybe one, maybe even two parking stalls, but that's something we can add on after the fact. That's, but yeah, I can ask them about it and just see.
I thought if we can do it here if we can do it with this,
Yeah.
whether or not it's too late, I don't know. But if you can do it with this, then it ties into the same grade as what.
It does, and it saves us parking. Those buses, I don't know why they do it, but sometimes they park lengthwise across those parking stalls, and they'll take up 8 of those parking stalls. And I'm like, what are you doing? Don't do
Are you
that.
talking about where, like, on this side, it kind of bumps out a little bit?
Yeah,
curves? Yeah,
so on the left-hand
Yeah.
side where
Yeah.
it starts, yeah, right there.
okay.
Would you have to put another light pole in over there, though? if you
There's
started
there's a
parking?
light pole on that's back there somewhere. It's kind of, or it goes
I
right
thought it
up.
was too far away, though, because that gets a
It
little
does
dark
get
around
dark.
that corner.
I think there's already a light on the side of the building.
I was gonna say, could you?
Yeah, we could probably mount a light in the side of the building. It does get dark back in there, but you could put a light in the side of the building.
You'd have to add another camera off to the side there, because I know there isn't one.
Yeah.
Only because I know that my son was over there playing football and there was an issue during the
Issue.
football game. And there was no camera available, so.
So what I can do is I can look at that as kind of a standalone project once we kind of get this going here. So the bid tonight the estimate's just for what you see, and then I can get like a change order, or we can even look at it as a separate project to get a lane back in there, or at least some parking spots back in there for busing, and then making sure there's a light and a camera back there as well.
I
So,
like the idea, though.
yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I don't know.
And if
does
nothing else, they can hopefully move, if they put the units a little farther up to the north there should be plenty of room to get buses in there.
So what does it do since we took that median option out for safety then, for the front of the building?
So it's just the same as it is now, where we'll have vans kind of pull in there, and it's because they're in there far enough. We really don't, I just don't like that they park, because right now, you can see a little gray blob that's kind of right there on the right side of that thing. That's where they always pull up to. We just got to condition them better to come down into the curvature right there and unload right there, because, and maybe that's where we put the ramp, maybe we put a
Well,
ramp
that's what I was
there.
gonna say. They probably pull up there because of the access to the ramp
Right.
right there.
Yeah. So we can probably ask them to put the ramp there more in the belly of that opening there.
You could almost expand that ramp a little bit, or
You
make
could,
a,
you could make that a big,
That's- yeah, you
you
could
could
do
do the whole
that.
thing. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good idea. The whole kind of little circle thing could be
Right.
a nice little ramp there. And really, that'd be better anyway, because you have better access, because I know there's handicap stalls, you can see them right there to the right, and then there'll also be handicap
Yes.
stalls to the left. So that kind of splits the difference between the two, so.
and it might help, but then they
Yeah.
wouldn't feel like they have to pull so far up.
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I like that. That's something I'll ask them they shouldn't have any problem with that. That should be,
It's like cutting out the curb
Yeah.
and putting in the,
yeah. Well, they wouldn't, yeah, it's already cut out.
Oh,
Just when
that's
they pour it
true.
in, just make
Yeah.
it a ramp up there.
right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Are they putting cement in around the athletic building?
Yep.
Understand? Is that
You-
gonna?
So if you
will
go
they come
up a
back
little
and do
bit,
that after
yeah.
the fact, or-
No, it's all gonna be part of this. So you can see, there's a little kind of squiggly line, that kind of goes off the corner, that right there. All of that area gets all paved, clear there. Cause right now, that's actually the elevation's lower. Remember we have to raise the building like 3 feet. And so the idea is we're gonna raise that 3 feet. And then, so it'll be kind of a retaining wall off to the right there, and then that'll all be level with the building, and then you'll see it kind of it'll cut right through, right on the edge of the track, and then all of that's gonna be kind of paved there, so, kind of a big landing area, plaza area type of deal, so. But yeah, all of the pavement for that is also included in this project as well. Any other questions?
All right, so since this is part of a public hearing, we'll open the floor. Do you have any comments based on these two items that were discussed, the LED lighting and the middle school parking lot? Do we have anybody here, anybody online?
Yes, we've got one from David Burgett on Valley View.
Okay.
How long do we expect this to last for, and what guarantees / warranties does it include, and what is the expectation of how long it will last in regards to the LED lighting at the high school and the middle school parking lot?
As far as warranty goes, there's really, you have a 1 year kind of a manufacturer warranty, not install warranty is usually what they kind of give. But that's for like defects or craftsmanship, those types of things. Concrete will crack. There's no way that they can guarantee that it won't. But like as they go and put this down, they'll do core samples throughout. So that's part of the job of the architect and engineer is to make sure that they're doing core sampling throughout. So we just had that situation up here at Titan Hill where a good chunk of our drive going up failed the core sampling. It wasn't thick enough, and so they had to go back in. Remember, they had to go back in and cut it out and re-pour it. So that's kind of the guarantee is through the core sampling and the architects and engineers making sure that it's done right. And then the LED lights are the same way. They're just, it's a 1 year warranty as far as craftsmanship goes. But, you know, I don't foresee us having, you know, any major issues. So not system wide, individual. I mean, you put that many units in as far as lights, and I mean, I mean, if you batted 1,000, that'd be amazing. But I don't think you're going to. You're going to have some that are faulty. So we actually have, outside of some switches at Creft and Titan Hill, we haven't had any issues there, and they were pretty Johnny on the spot with coming to switch those out. So far so good. Knock on laminate.
And time frame is just this summer?
Yep, time frame's this summer. They'll start May. Let's see, we're out of school May 22nd with kids, so they'll get going right the next week as soon as Memorial Day is over and start hammering it out. So.
Any impact then with the building compared with the concrete and a delay there?
No,
No?
no,
Okay.
and we'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow when they talk about the phasing. They don't think that because we'll use the primarily we'll use the operations side as our means for bringing stuff in and out of the buildings.
Okay.
So.
Were there any other comments? Okay. And then at this point, we'll close the public hearing and we'll move on.
Okay.
Commendations, good news.
So we actually have some guests with us tonight, and I'm going to let them kind of take the floor here. And so, if you guys remember last end of October, beginning of November, we started our a new program for the high school, which is really it was kind of it was geared towards providing students who weren't successful or didn't really maybe they just wanted a different environment other than what we had at the high school for their educational journey. But like online school wasn't really an option for them. Somewhere where they can come, but they had a little bit more of a flexible schedule, but they can hammer out classes in a relatively short amount of time, so that way they could eventually work towards graduation. And so that's kind of, a lot of schools have that around the area, and so when brought here, it's a little bit different than CTG. CTG is, at the high school, is geared towards more credit recovery than it is actually giving a totally different environment for a student to be able to come and be successful. And so started last November. We've now graduated how many students?
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12. I've already graduated 12 students out of it. And now these are students that otherwise would have been highly at risk to not finish out their high school career. So we did ask our lovely staff here to kind of talk about it a little bit. We do have a presentation, a video that we want to play for you. So how would you guys like to do this? Would you like to play the video first? Sure. Okay.
Each program is created to help students gain credits because they've gotten behind and probably will not graduate with their class. Lewis Central had a program called CTG that helped them during the day on their.
Uh-oh. That was a very short video. All right, we'll try it again.
Because they've gotten behind and probably will not graduate with their class. West Central had a program called CTG that helped them during the day on their current classes, but we really didn't have an alternative program for students if they got really behind in graduation, was getting out of reach besides summer school.
This program is Monday through Friday. They can attend either morning or afternoon or both, depending on what courses they need to take, how many they need to take to get the credits that they need to get caught up with their grade level or to graduate.
An important part of ACE is the kids know where they stand at all times because we keep track of their credits, and they need to know how many credits they earn, how many credits they still need, and we celebrate success at the ACE program. So every time they earn a credit, they get a reward, they get a sticker, of course we do a celebration song. Most of them will dance with me because we want to celebrate every time they get a credit. And the nice thing about seniors, when they earn the credits they need and met the graduation requirements, they are done. So they do not stay the rest of the year, the rest of the semester, and they've met their graduation requirements, they're done. So that encourages the students to work hard, get finished, because they're rewarded, hey, I can finish and get on with life.
All right. And at this time, I would like to invite our two teachers, Mrs. McComas and Ms. McVeigh, to come up to the microphone on the podium there. And I know that you guys brought a student with you. So go on up. Yep, you got to just talk in the mic so people can hear you. Otherwise, nobody will hear the wonderful things you have to say.
We have up there program data, as Dr. Hazen said. You can kind of compare, you can start off comparing the last year and this year data.
Okay. My name is Tracy McVeigh, and this is my first year at ACE program. I retired 3 years ago, 31 years in the district, and then got called to come back, and I couldn't resist coming back. I love working with these kids. It's been a great experience. Just looking at the data, makes me very proud to be a part of this. Mrs. McComas has done a wonderful job with the students and, making them feel comfortable when they come in. I know she meets with them beforehand, talks about the program with the students, and then they decide whether they want to come into the program or not. When they come in, I think the kids feel very much at ease when they come in. They feel very accomplished as they see how they can finish their credits and go forward and see that they have been improving. And knowing when they come in that they have this certain criteria that they have to follow, I think that makes them feel like they know what's going to happen. They know they need to be accountable for their actions. I think the data up there, as you can see, just speaks for itself. The students, 81 classes this year, just the first semester. And so, yeah, we've had 9 12th graders at the school now, I believe. Some of them probably have graduated. 3 have graduated so far. We've also had students that have come into the program that are underclassmen, as you can see. The 2 10th graders, I think we have, do we still have 2?
One sophomore, one freshman.
Okay, so the 1 sophomore, we had 2 sophomores. 1 went back to the high school, got their self together, did some, got some credits recovered, and he's on track and he's doing really good. And then the other sophomore is sticking in there. And then we have 1 freshman right now And sometimes it's due to attendance that they may, get into the program, and maybe they struggle with different types of medical issues, that they may have anxiety. They may not be able to tolerate being in the classroom, and they just feel that the program is better for them in that small environment. They have choices of where or when they can come into the program, whether it be in the morning or afternoon. There's also option of coming all day, and sometimes if they get behind, they will stay the whole day, and we're open for that because we're there anyway. I don't know, anything else? Introduce Lacey? Okay, well, and here's one of our graduates this year is Lacey Gaines.
All right, yay.
Oh gosh, this has been a while since I've stood up in front of a group of people and started talking. But anyways, my name is Lacey Gaines. I was a senior here at Lewis Central this year. I started off the ACE program last year as a junior, and I got some credits done last year, and I came back this year and I had 12 credits to complete. And my goal is to get done by my first semester so I could go back for Iowa Western online classes. Ms. McVeigh and McComas has done a great job advocating for me. I came into the ACE program originally for attendance, and they made sure I was there every day and got my stuff done. They advocated me for a lot of things. I believe that the ACE program is really well for me. I went in there and it was kind of more you just do it by your time and everything. I went in there in the mornings and I would stay late if I had extra stuff I had to get done that day. It was just pretty much, self-paced, and the ACE program, if you messed up on any test or anything, you could go back into it, study it, and retake the test later when you were more ready for the test or whatever. And yeah, I feel like I did pretty good this year. I got 12 credits done pretty fast. I was on it for hours out a day. There were some days I was knocking out 8-hour days just sitting on.
Yeah.
It was pretty insane. Took up a lot of my day, but I got it done, and that's all that matters.
So do you think, so it was obviously beneficial for you, right?
Yeah, it was very beneficial. It worked with my schedule a lot more. I definitely did not like going to school for those 8-hour time periods a day. I kind of just wanted to get out there and go to work right afterwards.
Mhm.
And if I had the time, I would just sit at home and just knock it out while I could.
Yeah.
So
what are you gonna do now? No, because you're officially done, right?
Yeah,
You graduated?
I'm officially done
Okay.
with high school, but right now I'm in Iowa Western classes
Okay.
taking some of my stuff. I plan on going to Metro next year for American Sign Language interpretation. I
Oh,
have two
very
deaf
cool.
brothers, so I figured, might as well make the money if I already know it, right?
That's right,
But,
for sure.
yep.
Very good.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
Congrats.
awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions for either of the teachers or Miss Lacey?
I will say that I stopped in one day and, because we had a facilities meeting, and the book shelf caught my eye with all their awards, and so I did. I stopped in and congratulated them, and I
Yeah.
think it is a great program to have the alternative side.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes?
Thank you, Lacey. Rock star right there. So, being the second year, I kind of wanted to go over what I think the improvements that we made. Coming in last year was a brand new program. I came in and we had decisions to be made. Probably the number one improvement is adding Mrs. McVeigh. So if you, we both are part-time, so I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. She works Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Those Wednesdays are so valuable. We can talk about the students, what they need, who's done what, the testing part, but it also allows me to go to the high school and meet with the students and all the intake meetings with the admin and counselors at the high school. Last year, we had to get a sub for me. It had to be after school, which sometimes isn't the best for the parents and the students, so that has been a great improvement, adding Mrs. McVeigh, just so we can talk about students and I can go to all the meetings. Last year, they could basically come and go when they wanted. We've added flexibility. They can choose a morning session or the afternoon session, so there's that flexibility. But also having the two set time systems it allows for structure. These students still need structure. The coming and going whenever they kind of wanted did not work well. We knew it was an alternative school, and so we wanted to provide flexibility, but now they still get to choose morning or afternoon, but we have set times, 7:30 to 11, 11:30 to 2:45. So I think that was a good improvement of consistency, but yet with flexibility for the student. And the phones is a no-brainer. The students are, I thought there might be some students that want to, kind of sneak their phone or whatever. They come in, we don't even have to remind them. They come in, we have pouches, put the phones away. Online learning with a phone right by you isn't a good combination. We know if the phone's there and it buzzes, we want to look. Same with the students, they're going to miss out on whatever is happening in the world. So that's been great. We constantly monitor. Probably I'd look at individual, but on one of the slides up there, you could see we also monitor as a group. So every day on the board is listed, here's how many hours they put in. And it was a kind of a give and take. Do I want to put everybody up there? And because it's violating their privacy, it has been so beneficial because, Lacey, and you can add to this, it's like a group. If one student isn't kind of lagging, it's completed. So we're working more efficiently. The kids, it's what would be the word I want to use? Just the expectations are higher this year. It was just kind of, last year, it's just, they know what they need to do when they come in and they get down to business. Anything I'm missing with the environment, I think, is the main. The kids come in there, they know what's expected. No one's made to be there. It's as Tracy said, it's a choice with the intake. Does that program sound like something that could help you? And we had a student like, no, I don't want to do something like that. I want to be with my friends. They weren't put in that program. So lots of different reasons. Everybody, it's an individual basis why, whether it's behind in credits, anxiety, skipping, teen parents in there, different reasons. And I have 2 more meetings on Wednesday for 2 more intakes. So it's kind of coming and going. The students graduate because they can graduate when they're done, the seniors. Currently, we only have 1 senior, 2 seniors right now. One needs 4, one's going to be there all year. But realized right away he was in there, he's afternoons only. Now he comes on Tuesdays and Thursdays all day, and it is really helping him. And people are seeing it, so they're like, I think I'll come all day also. So again, yes, yeah. So, questions?
What is the program capacity? How many can you?
We always have said 15 bodies at one time would be a lot. 12 to 15, that would be a lot. So, but again, when one leaves.
Like, are they choosing a session? Like, so we would say 12 to 15, like per morning or afternoon session
Yeah.
is what your goal is?
Mhm. Yeah.
So when you're looking at criteria is it individualized for each student? Or do you have something that you're looking at to determine if they would be a good fit for it?
Mr. Haver could probably talk more than I mean, we don't want it to become for behavior reasons.
Okay.
That this student's constantly getting in trouble, and so they're placed in the ACE program. But again, it has been on an individual basis.
Mm-hmm.
The seniors, it's easy. Behind in credits, mathematically, they cannot graduate. Here's an opportunity. Come to the ACE program. They're the easiest, the seniors. But in the juniors, kind of the same. We've done the math now, and now you've gotten yourself 9th and 10th grade, didn't get what you needed. Mathematically, come in, get into the ACE program to catch up. But the 9th and 10th, that's where it becomes very individual. We have a student not getting in trouble, but not going to class, a freshman that was just added last week. I guess she skipped all the time, but not getting in trouble. But so they were out of, I'd say, the best criteria. We have done everything we can at the high school to help the student. We've run out of options. I've heard the admin say that. We've run out of options. We've tried and tried. How about the ACE program? Is there something there that could help? And so with that freshman, just wouldn't go to class, and ISS, OSS, nothing was helping. She's had perfect attendance since she started. And on time, and yeah, so I don't, just, there are no distractions. Where we're at, the building is perfect.
So when a student like that in ninth grade, meaning they typically would have 3 more years left in the high school, once they reach the criteria where they are meeting credit criterias, and you try to reacclimate them back into the high school environment and it's still not working, do you bring them back? Or maybe you haven't had that yet, where you bring them back and then they just stay in the program?
We've had that already.
Okay. Oh, in 2 years?
Yes,
Okay.
we've had that already. The goal is, if they're underclassmen, to get back to work on, not only is it academic, we work on the social skills. We have a meeting every Wednesday to go over, how are things going, what can we help with? So the goal is to get them back.
Okay.
But we had a student, she went back, same situation started happening, she came back to the program. So it does happen that they come back. But the goal is to get them back to the high school, Maturity, especially with the underclassmen, maturity. We had this sophomore, because he was skipping classes, just hanging out, come to school every day, but they'd find him not in classes, and so they had run out of options. He came in for the last 3 or 4 weeks of semester 1. Let's get you some credits, because you're not passing your classes. You've gotten in such a hole with the regular classes, so they came. I think he got 4 credits as he was there, and now you could report, but I'm hearing he's doing well back at the high school. He missed his friends. He was given the option, go on back, but if you start skipping again, you will be back. That was the ultimate from the parents.
Well,
Parents have a lot to say.
I think it's great that we're giving something other than a traditional approach. So I think commend you guys. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Why don't you speak about the location?
Okay, location, everybody knows where we're at. The old APR room at the middle school is perfect because of the private entrance. All distractions are taken away from the students. So they have their private entrance, they have their own bathrooms. There's a lobby on the front, and having my counseling degree, a student's struggling, we can remove them from the class. Students are working in there. I can see through the door, but yet we can have private conversations out there. And they can't have access to the high school during the day, and so their friends aren't there. It's amazing. I would have never thought. I'm also an LC grad and have been around here. This is my 30th year at Lewis Central. Removing the distractions has been great. Parking lot right there in front, so the location's perfect too.
We had a program in Missouri Valley, and when I came here and they showed me the NPR room, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Like, this would be restrooms right there, own lobby, own parking, can separate it from the middle school, and that's the biggest thing, is sometimes students just need that physical disconnect from a social gathering in order to allow them to focus, And there are some students that come because they need a reset, and once they're good, they go back. And then there's other students who come because even as much as they'd want to go back, that is just not a good environment for them. One of their students right now, he's so focused on work that students we've had in the past too in Missouri Valley, they were so focused on work that they couldn't make it through a regular day at the high school, because in their mind, work was more important. I'm not getting paid to come to school. So then eventually when they got old enough, they just wouldn't come to school anymore, and they just work full time. So now you can convince them to be like, hey, come for a few hours, get your work done. Lacey's over there nodding. Get your work done, and you can still go to work. We'll let you out. You go to work, but also get your high school diploma. Like, might as well get them both. Who says you got to have one and not the other? So.
Absolutely.
I would like to commend you guys. You guys are getting an extra 30 classes accomplished this year with less kids. So, that's really huge. So great job on that.
And already semester 2, we've had 3 more, I just forgot, 3 more grads, Eli, Leo, and Jacoby, 3 more grads, and I don't even know how many more credits that we've gotten, but we could add 3 more grads now already in semester 2.
So,
And a question for Lacey did you work when you did this?
I was working at Pizza King part-time, so
Was-
I'd hurry up and try to get out of classes as soon as possible, and I'd head straight to work right after.
So how do you feel like your employer, were they receptive to this, or did they know, or?
They knew that, yeah.
They
So
knew?
They knew that I was coming down at the ACE program, so they were working with me on my hours and everything. I told them, hey, I kind of need some more days off, just to focus on schoolwork. That was kind of my main priority coming in my senior year this year. It was just getting my schoolwork done. I said, I'll come to work when I need to, but I need my schoolwork done first.
There you go.
That's good.
That's great.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions?
No, just awesome to hear how year 2 is going. We're
It's an
we're
awesome
looking forward to
program.
hearing
Thank you.
more.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Mr. Haver?
I just want to add one quick thing. The success of this program doesn't happen without these two ladies right here. You heard them both talk about that 60 years of Lewis Central experience. They are probably our two biggest cheerleaders of the district and of our kids. And the structures that they have put in place and the care that they give the kids that are there, both tough love and actual real caring, has made this program as successful as possible. And I just want to publicly thank you two for all your hard work and dedication for our students, because it wouldn't happen without you two.
And do you think we look alike? Kids get us confused. We don't see it, but the kids get us confused. Well, we do go by McDamus. Just call us that. Or better yet, McDouble. They're all confused.
we're both alumni, so, yes.
We bleed blue.
Well, and now Lacey is too, so, very good. Well, thank you guys so much for coming tonight, we really appreciate it. So, thank you for helping make this program a success. Thank you too, Mr. Haver, for coming. Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to
Thanks, guys.
comments and suggestions. This is the first portion of our meeting where we open the floor to the public for any comments that we may receive. We'll give it a couple minutes here.
One that I think weren't clear in that initial comment, they're kind of curious how long they expect the parking lot to last. Are we looking at 20 years, 50 years?
I mean, you could
Well,
probably speak
whatever
to
we
that
can get, but
better,
I-
Mr. Sturm.
I think a lot of that depends on your weather. So concrete, I said, it's gray, it's gonna crack. We are a school, we use a lot of de-icing material that diminishes the lifespan of any concrete. There is no de-icing product on the market that is safe for concrete, even though the bag may say that. And as well as the concrete itself goes, it's only as good as the base, and our base is always tested before, for compaction prior to the pour. So I would estimate at least a 10 to 15 year lifespan.
The current parking lot, I think, was poured and then I think they must have some point done an asphalt overlay over part of it. So that would, like the high school, that was back in 2000 when they built that. So in 25 years, they had one pour and one overlay. So, yeah, to Director Sturm's, you'd hope for 20 years. If you get 20 years, that's great. Unfortunately, like Director Sturm said, we are a school. So you'll see some parking lots last a lot longer than that, but they don't have, 1,000 cars and buses and everything else driving on them on a daily basis, so.
Well, and I think it'll also help that, hopefully we can get our drain pipe figured out and keep it from undermining, so.
No other additional comments? Okay, then we will
Thanks for
move.
the question, though.
Yeah.
We'll move. We have an updated personnel sheet.
Yes. One additional add.
Question. Do we do exit interviews when people leave?
They do at the building level, so
Okay.
they have conversations with them and.
To figure
So-
out why they're leaving?
Yeah, we talked about getting a more formalized process, but, you know, usually they turn in resignation, which kind of, you know, they can explain as much or little, and that's usually what we get here. To this date, we don't have a formalized kind of district HR policy of exit interviews. It's whatever the conversation is with the principals, and usually,
Okay.
you know, usually they're pretty forthcoming, you know, good or bad, usually they let them know.
Got it.
Do we have an emotion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as directed, or presented.
Second?
Second. Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mrs. Sandow?
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. Reports. Superintendent report.
So we just have a couple updates here. Dr. Hartman with the district leadership team tells me they're about 95% done with the action steps for. Remember, I kind of tasked them with figuring out the instructional goal for the year for our strategic plan, and so their instructional goal is based around literacy, so they're coming up with that, and then. We haven't started yet, but we'll get started on our facility and our finance goal. And then they also are, how far along are you guys in the student behavior goal? Same, about 95%, okay. So that was two of the three categories were, we wanted an instructional goal and then we wanted a culture climate goal. And so that student behavior and literacy were the two that they, kind of the two main topics they came up with. We've already kind of talked about this in the past, so. And then we'll come up with a finance and facility goal. It'll probably be one of each, finance goal and a facility goal. So overall, our strategic plan will cover 4 very specific goals. And then embedded within those goals, there will be opportunities for professional development, teacher performance, those types of things. So it doesn't mean that we're not focused on all areas that we're looking at, but, you know, to make really productive goals, you need to be pretty focused. So we're kind of picking the areas that we believe at this time are our highest priority. And we did we did surveys and that kind of stuff too with the community and the staff to try to figure out, you know, what are their priorities as well. So it's not something that we're just flying by the seat of our pants. Legislative updates. So there's been a lot of bills that have been proposed. Everything from requiring districts to take cash for athletic events to kind of classroom behavior bills. That would kind of put a lot of the power into the hands of the teachers. That's good and bad. And if you ever get a chance to kind of look through those bills, I mean, you can kind of understand like how that could be really good, and then you can see like how, you know, pitfalls. You know, a teacher doesn't get along with the student. They don't necessarily like a student. They would have 100% control over whether that student stays or leaves their class at any point. You know, versus having an intermediary like a principal say, hey, here's the deal. Like, I know that you don't like them, but they've not done anything really bad. Like, you know, they're not coming prepared. Doesn't mean they can't be in your class, you know. So it's that bill has its pros and cons. There's also bills out there still for school finance. Those are the ones that I'm looking at primarily, that hopefully the SSA can get set, or state supplemental aid will get set at a reasonable number, so that way we can give, you know, our budget goes up at a reasonable pace. Right now, there's 7 less students in the state of Iowa, just in general, not, you know, necessarily our district, but then across the state of Iowa, there's 7,000 less students, which means that there's that much money that's out there that can be allocated to schools. So they could do a 2 or 2.5% increase, and it wouldn't even be much of an increase at all in the state budget, because it's from students that are left the state. So, you know, hopefully they kind of see it that way. There is property tax bill. We've talked about that in pretty lengthy detail in the last meeting. And then there's like bills for everything from civics tests to I want to say like civil liberties, like what you're allowed and allowed not to talk about within a classroom. It just, you know, a lot of the bills that you'll see really are things that in my belief, I'm always a local control guy, should probably be controlled at the local level, not necessarily need, state legislators telling us in Council Bluffs what we should do because somebody in Des Moines or Ames or Iowa City is doing things that they don't believe are appropriate. In those cases, I think that they should go to those communities and say, if you guys don't like this, elect new board members and, change it. Don't necessarily stick all of us with the same restrictions that you're trying to impart on a very particular district or group of districts. So, and I'll be honest, usually it's the urban districts that typically legislators are trying to control, and they try to control them through legislative action instead of their local ways. So there is Mrs. Smith, Miss Beth Smith, and Miss Lettner's class has classes. Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Lettner were chosen to lead a STEM Day on the Hill presentation. And so there will be a handful of students from their class that will go with them to present in the Hill with their parents. So we'll be sending kindergartners to a group of them to the Capitol on February 18th. I'll be driving them, and we'll be going up and spending the day and then coming back. So they'll get to talk to legislators and see the Capitol, and then they'll get to eat lunch, and then they'll come home. So it'll be a very quick trip, but hopefully very impactful. Hopefully they earn at an early age how rules are made. So HR, as you guys saw, we do have a few openings up there. We are going to be posting those. Surprisingly, at this point, we have last year at this point we had 13 to 15 of our early notification incentives were kind of gobbled up at this point. This year we finished with, because it closed on January 30th, so we only have 5. So, whatever reason, people are deciding to stick around, which is awesome. I love that. So that's just for having 200 teachers and having 5 students or 5 teachers that have decided to move on that's not necessarily normal. I don't even know what to say about that, but that's really good. Yeah, I'll absolutely take it. So,
Out of the 5, how many are retiring?
3.
3.
3?
So yeah. So really, it's everybody has their own reasons for why they go, and that's one of the things that it's a small district, small buildings, and so even if somebody didn't want to be forthcoming with us about why they're leaving, I guarantee we know why they're leaving. So, and they always have an opportunity, when they leave to tell they can talk to me, they can talk to anybody, but we did talk about just about a month ago having more of a formalized process. People leave to kind of talk about just some clear-cut questions we can ask about, why now. Mm-hmm. So it might be as simple as, pursuing a different opportunity. We had somebody last year left us to do full-time photography, nothing, loved the district, still coaches for us, but decided she just wanted to do photography full-time. So, and then we have the people that, for different reasons have decided they needed to move on to a different school or try something new. So everybody has their reasons for why they leave. One of the things that we are, and I just kind of wanted to be open about this and we're talking about, is remember we added welding 2 years ago, and we did it because when we needed a welding program, somebody in the community stepped up and said they're going to purchase welding equipment for us, and then they also were going to pay for the salary for that person for a year, and so they did that. The next year we just retained them, and then we actually had a retirement last year, which we did replace because it was Woods is a very popular. We do have another retirement taking place in industrial tech. We will be looking to go back down from, we've always had 3 industrial tech teachers, and we went to 4 for 2 years, and now we're going to look to go back down to 3. And it's just because we're not going to lose any of our programming. We just have less kids that are doing things like Project Lead the Way, and so we can combine some of those classes and then have the teachers help out with the home and car care. And so it's not that the program's going away, we're just going to do some reshuffling. So we're going to do all the same programs with the same number of teachers we've had for years, and this was always the end goal. One of the things that we are also on a targeted list for special education at the high school, and a lot of it has to do with post-secondary opportunities and making sure that we're providing some avenues for students with disabilities to be able to kind of take that next step after high school. And so with that, it takes a lot of man hours. So we are going to be advertising for another special education teacher at the high school. So we can meet those needs better. You know, we kind of did a lot of deep diving. When you're on a targeted list, the state comes in and they make you sit through day-long sessions and brainstorming sessions about how to improve in those areas and what targeted areas that specifically we're looking at. And so they had already revamped. This is kind of year one or is this year two of them, how they revamped year two? Yeah, second year for how they revamped a lot of the instructional strategies that they were utilizing for students on IEPs. And so we felt like we made a lot of headway there, but now we're going to loop in, and now we have to continue to provide those other opportunities as well. And then to further, we've also identified some gaps, because when you start doing things differently, you're like, oh man, if we had an extra person, we had an extra. So we are going to look to do that. So if you guys see special education opening, it's not, nobody has left us, we're just adding one. So if that makes sense. So.
Are we partnering with any other local businesses, companies that do things like that?
So we are, yep.
Okay.
So we have a partnership with Vodek
Yep.
right now. Lori Teese, who's our special education coordinator, she's worked with Vodek very closely for many years. And so this year's kind of year one for, I wouldn't say it's a pilot program, because we are doing it with them. So it's a collaboration between Green Hills AEA, Vodek, and then those two kind of run the program, and then we're kind of their first line, like we were the first school invited to send students to participate in those programs. So I can have her come and talk with you guys.
That'd be great.
About that at some point. So yeah, so it's just exciting. I know when she came to me, she was really excited about it. Just gives kids more opportunities. I felt good knowing that Green Hills AEA was kind of the brainchild behind it and making it run. So, but I think it's been really positive so far.
Good.
So will they come back in like a year later and reevaluate to see if we made progress?
Yep,
Or-
we have to, yep, we're continuously evaluated. So, yep, so when we hire for next year, part of our professional development process, we do like a professional learning communities in our special ed team. That's what they focus on, is making sure that we're meeting kids where they are at, filling gaps, providing appropriate instruction and support. So, so yeah, it'll be good. We're gonna be posting that tomorrow, so I didn't want, it wasn't up there. So I'm like, if you guys saw that, be like, whoa, I didn't see that one. No, we're doing a little bit of a shuffle, so.
I know, similar to the ACE program, how they have their own, and we've talked about this a little bit in the past, kind of the entrance factor for students with disabilities or on IEPs can factor in a lot on how it starts their day. So if any way possible, as we're doing renovations to buildings, concepts, if we could look at ways to maybe revamp where we place those classrooms to give them individualized access rather than going through the main doors.
Right, that makes sense.
It goes a long ways. I've been pondering this since we've started talking about the middle school a lot, and I know that there are a lot of already plans in place for the middle school, but that's just something I'm, kind of pondering in my head, as if there's a way that we could find a secondary route for those individuals to be able to get through the building.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what comes to HR. So there will be a few of those. There's also, other things that we're pondering in our head as far as like what teachers would be good fit in what positions, and, trying to make sure that we have the ability to find areas for that meet the most amount of our needs with people who are best suited to do it. So last thing are facilities. So obviously you guys will see, and I'll talk about here in a little bit, we have the athletic building addition. Right now we are targeting having a bid package out by the end of this month to renovate the athletic building, and then put an addition onto it, and we'll talk about kind of our we had originally meant to purchase the metal building tonight, but that's not gonna happen now, and I'll get into detail in a little bit. High school roofing, that's already been and gone out. Creft window sills, so if you look on the north side, clear along the building, there are, excuse me, sorry about that, there are a lot of areas where, I don't know if it was condensation or somehow the sills, the seals were bad, and so water's gotten in and just kind of taken out like the window sill itself, rotted out, so we're gonna be looking to do a bid package on that. Middle school parking lot, we did talk about that tonight. High school LED, we talked about that. Titan Hill exterior, that'll be getting going as soon as it gets nice out. They'll start already doing some of the work around the school there. We are looking to buy a band and choir trailer, just kind of giving you guys a heads up. The one that we have now is kind of rusted out, and I know Director Sturm, with his knowledge of everything trailer, is helping me kind of reach out to some organizations that he knows about that can give us some decent bids on that. So I would anticipate within the next month or so having something brought to the board to purchase a trailer, and then we would look to wrap it and make it really cool. We're probably not going to go the west side semi truck trailer route. Like, that might be a little excessive, and I don't know who we'd have to drive it. So unless Director Sturm's planning on going to all the show choir stuff moving forward. So we'll probably just get something we can tow with a pickup. And then finally, Titan Hill HVAC. So the boilers are officially running. They have seen a pretty significant impact on classrooms. So that's really nice. We don't have freezing kids right now, so that's great. And then the chillers they don't know about yet because they were installed after the winter, so they don't know how those are going to be up and going. But it's already positive returns on what we've gotten so far. So, any other questions? No? All right.
Thank you, Dr. Hazing. All right, we'll move into discussion items. So 8.01, pre-levy resolution.
Okay, I'm gonna go in here. Okay, so this resolution allows us to go out and sell the bonds. So the bonds will be paid off by 2031 according to this spreadsheet here. The new taxable valuation, which for the district was actually an increase of 16.4%. They were anticipating an increase of 5.8%. That's valuation. So that means that everybody's going to pay a little bit less out of their own pockets because the valuation of the district has gone up. So one of the things we're able to do is we're able to keep the levy completely flat and pay these bonds off a little bit earlier because we're able to put more money towards the bonds and not increase the levy at all. So that's really positive. So yeah, that's really not much. I think if you can scroll in a little bit for me, I can't see that far away. Can you scroll in for me? Okay, now go up a little bit. There we go. So one of the cool things about this, if you see that $270,000, so by paying our bonds off a little bit early because of the valuation going up, we're going to be able to save, close to $270,000 off the payback of this. So it's really positive. Keep bringing those businesses and homes into our district so we can get that done quicker. So yeah. So then all you guys would have to do is make sure that we read the statements. If you scroll down for me, I need to get my own mouse up here so I can run it. So then recommendation just has to be that right there. And this is issuing the rest of that $9.5 million. So remember we did 20.5 million last year. So
All right. We'll go into 8.02, and this one we're changing up a little bit, so there won't be an action item tonight.
there will not be. So just so the public is aware. So we did look at doing a state purchasing. We're trying to get time, and so the state already had a state contract with a company called Blue Scope out of Kansas City to be able to do like middle building construction. And so if you go with the state contract, you can bypass the general bid process. The problem is the estimate that came back from them through the state contract was actually almost double what we had gotten for a preliminary estimate from a local company on what, for the same building. And not only was it almost double, but it was, the insulation was less than what we had scoped out. The roof was less than we had scoped out as far as like material quality. And so it was kind of like, well, we're getting less of a building for almost double the cost. And so, and the timeline was going to be like 22 to 26 weeks. We decided that, you know, it's going to take us to go through a bid process. If we're going through a state purchasing process, you guys could approve it tonight. Then that building goes on then our name gets locked in tomorrow and our timetable starts, you know, and then in 22 weeks we're done. Well, now we have to go back, we have to do a bid process. Well, they need another 2 weeks to finalize the paperwork so we can get it out to bid, and then they'll need at least 3 weeks to allow companies to bid on it so we can get accurate pricing, because it's such a complicated detailed project. And so that's 5 weeks. And so, but then they're estimating that it could be 16 to 20 weeks before we get that back. So you're talking a difference if it's on the high end of 20 weeks to go through a regular company, and it's the low end of 22 weeks, and we're going to spend 5 weeks. There's potentially 3 weeks that we're going to lose out on by going this route, but we're potentially going to save several hundreds of thousands of dollars. So in that case, I think that we'll figure out a way. Unfortunately, that puts a building, if we get a bid that we like and we approve it, the board approves it in March, we're probably looking at a mid-July install, which means that we're not done for the beginning of the year. We will be done with the locker rooms. The original building will be done being renovated. The new building will not be occupiable at that time when we start the football season, which just means that we'll probably, for 1 more year, we might have to maintain what we're currently doing with visiting teams, which is having visiting teams use the boys' side of the locker room and then the gym at the middle school, which is fine, because if you look at this, we'll talk all about timelines and staging tomorrow as far as how they're going to be phasing in the projects in the middle school, but the locker rooms aren't going to be done in year 1 anyway, so it's not going to mess up our current locker rooms or anything like that. It's just going to almost maintain status quo for 1 more year. But it is what it is. You can't force materials to get here quicker and that kind of work to get done faster. So it is stuck between a rock and a hard place, I guess, a little bit. I mean, you can always hope, and we'll hope it's going to be done, but
Still potential though before the end of the season.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Yeah.
It'll be 100% done for sure by the end of the season, which means that it's probably occupiable well into the into the season. So there's, as long as it's occupiable, as long as the building itself is secure, we can snap the fingers maybe game 2 or game 3, and all of a sudden we go back to the plan that what we're doing, where the visiting team and the home team are both in the same building. So it could only be 1 or 2 games. Mm-hmm. So it's not a horrible scenario. It's not like we have to bring in outhouses or anything like that. We just would do what we're currently doing for a few more games. So, but not horrible.
Have we already communicated this to our community partners then too?
Yeah, more. I told them there's a good chance that if this wasn't going to fall through, or if this fell through, that we're not going to hit deadlines. But
okay.
Yeah, but only so much we can do.
Are we gonna have a tough time getting the tin for the current athletic building to redo? And
all of that's included in the same scope.
Okay, so we'll demo the inside and get that all ready. We'll still see the yellow exterior, and then.
Yes, yeah, somewhat. Yeah, I think what they'll probably end up doing is all of the siding will be here. That's not what's going to take 20 weeks. It's like the big steel structure.
The beams. Okay.
So,
gotcha.
So the siding, everything should be here earlier. So once that's all here, then they can start on the actual. But I would anticipate seeing some demo of the current athletic building sometime in probably April. So.
Yeah, probably first see like
Excuse me.
utilities changing, and then since the elevation has to change, so you'll see a like a short stub wall go around, and then they'll have to backfill that. That'll have to sit for so many days.
Yeah, so it's not all bad that the steel's not gonna get here for a while, cause it's gonna have to sit there anyway and
Right,
settle.
yeah, they can start
So-
on the outside on the nice days and do the inside on the rainy days.
And do we anticipate any more challenges from the city?
No, I don't. I think we'll be okay. So we're complying with their 3-foot elevation recommendation change, so I think that was the main thing.
Okay.
All right,
All right, then we will move to comments and suggestions. This is the second portion of our meeting where we open the floor to our viewing public, in this case, to see if they have any general comments for the board. We'll give it a couple minutes here. Good? Okay. All right, then we will move into our only action item, which is the pre-levy resolution.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I would like to recommend to approve the resolution authorizing the issuance of approximately $9.5 million general obligation school bonds, Series 2026, and levying a tax for the payment thereof.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
Mrs. Sandow?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. The resolution has been approved. And then, do I need to say that we're tabling?
Yep.
Somebody
10.02?
needs to make a motion to table.
Oh, we have to,
Motion to table. I can't just say 10.02. can I?
the athletic building.
Motion to table the approval of the metal building materials for the athletic building.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
Mrs. Sandow?
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. Items of interest, future board meetings.
So 2 things. Tomorrow night, we have our facilities meeting, so if you guys plan to be there, that'd be wonderful.
And that is at
It's-
5:30,
And it's at
not
5:30, not
Okay.
6:30.
6:30.
And it is at the operations building, not here. Okay, 5:30, operations building. And then we'll be back here at 6:30 on February 17th, so. You guys can all thank Dr. Hartman for
We
us
get kicked out of here for
being in the operations building.
Second time.
second time, yeah.
Yeah. She technically booked it first, so.
All right, then with,
booking stuff for next year, just so you know.
Oh, no.
all right, with nothing further on the agenda, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All those